Hello everyone, welcome to coding interview in 5 minutes. I will guide you through the coding interview from the interviewer's perspective. I'm an ex-Google interviewer and currently I'm a senior engineer at FAANG and I've got offers from several large companies. Today we are going to look at the reverse linked list. Also it's tag easy, but our goal is to get an idea of how we communicate with the interviewer and how we present our solution to the interviewer. So I will not focus too much on the technical details about how to solve this problem, but how to show your engineering excellence and how to communicate with the interviewer to show your strengths. Because someone always complains to me that I solve all the issues the interviewer throw at me, however I still didn't get the offer. Why? Because sometimes you may focus too much on the problem, like the solution, not the interview solution. Let's use this reverse linked list as an example. Whenever we see linked list or tree, the first impression is we can use recursive and iterative method. So at this time, we can propose two methods to the interviewer and analyze the pros and cons. For example, for the recursive, it's more straightforward and easier to understand, but we need to worry about the Stack Overflow and some memory constraints. And for the iterative method, it doesn't have those risks as easily as the recursive method. However, it may need some efforts to think it through, and it's not that straightforward. The first thing I want to mention is for the recursive method, what's the condition for the recursion exit? And then we will assume it will just return the following linked list reversed magically. For example, here, if we assume 2, 3, 4, 5 has been reversed, the node 2 will be the last node in this sublist after reversing. So it's naturally to just append the node 1 after node 2. Some things to pay attention here. First of all, the naming convention. Don't use A, B, X, Y as the variable name and use a more meaningful variable name. For example, if we want to keep track of the next node, we can name it as next node. For the reversed sublist, we want to make our name more formative. For the iterative method, 2 pointers, one to point to the previous node, another pointer to the current node. Keep moving them. However, in a lot of solutions I saw, they always use some non-meaningful variable name. Another thing I want to mention is always use the typing annotation. If you write in Python, it makes the interface more informative, show your engineering excellence. And another very similar, the reverse linked list 2 is to reverse a specific sublist of the whole linked list. I've seen a lot of solutions trying to use 3 pointers to magically connect, to do some movements among the nodes and to connect all of them. However, it's actually not necessary because the interview is a way you try to demonstrate you are a good you are a good collaborator and you can write clear code which can make others easily understand. So the encapsulation is the key here. For example, if we want to reverse this, what we need to do is we find the node 2, find the node 4, and do a reverse linked list on this sublist. And then we just connect it back to the original list. Make it just 3 steps. Always remember to check the early return. Always insert a dummy head to cope with a corner case. For example, if the starting of the sublist is 1 and it will introduce a lot of corner case, the dummy head is always helpful. And feel free to write such comments to show your intention because the dummy head is not very intuitive. Imagine you are submitting this code for others to review. It's very hard for others to get the meaning of the dummy head at the first glance. So it's always important to write those comments to convey your opinion. Okay, so the first step is actually to get those left and right boundaries of the sublist that we want to reverse. And here, notice that when we get the boundary, we also want to get the node before the boundary because when we link them back, we need to know the neighbor of those boundaries. We can implement a util function called get nth node with previous, which return the nth node along with its previous node. And then after getting those boundary node, we will isolate the middle list and then we just reverse the middle sublist and link it back. It's pretty straightforward. And for the reverse list, we can utilize the method we talked before. Like you can use the iterative and recursive method, and you can also discuss pros and cons about different methods with the interviewer. And after confirm with the interviewer which method you want to go with, you can start implementation. Always imagine you are sending this code for others for the code review. For example, here it illustrates every step with a graph, which is invisible during code review. Like so, sometimes we need to sacrifice the length of the code to make the code easier to understand. Okay, that's all about today's video. If you feel it helps you, please subscribe and give a like to this video. I will see you next time. Thank you.